Have you seen this Ford Ranger? This is the elusive 5th generation Ford Ranger that everybody seems to have forgotten about. Let me explain. Some people seem to think that this Ranger was the 4th generation Ranger and that the 2019 Ranger is the 5th generation. But this is actually the 1998 to 2003 Ford Ranger. As you can see, these two Ford Rangers are very different from one another. They have different hoods, fenders, headlights, bumpers, grille. It's a completely different front clip on the 2004 Ranger from the 2003 Ranger. I have been a Ford Ranger enthusiast for over 30 years, and just over 25 years ago I created the Ranger Station as a resource for Ford Ranger enthusiasts. Over the years, truck enthusiasts have labeled generations on trucks based on their body styling. It's not anything that Ford Motor Company has done, and just because some kid working in the parts department at a Ford dealership placed something on their website and listed it for a 5th generation Ranger doesn't mean that a 2019 Ford Ranger is automatically a 5th generation Ford Ranger. Here you have the 1983 to 1988 Ford Ranger, the 1989 to 1992 Ford Ranger, the 1993 to 1997 Ford Ranger, the 1998 to 2003 Ford Ranger, which would be the 4th generation Ford Ranger, and then the 2004 to 2011 Ford Ranger, which makes it the 5th generation Ford Ranger. All these Rangers have completely different sheet metal on the front of them. You can't interchange the parts between these generations. When the Ford Ranger returned to North America in 2019, it was based on the T6 platform that was developed by Ford Australia and introduced back in 2011. When this Ranger was introduced, people started calling it the 5th generation Ford Ranger, forgetting the actual 5th generation Ranger that was sold from 2004 to 2011. When the Ranger returned in 2019, it was annoying that people wanted to start calling it the 5th generation Ford Ranger because by doing so, they're forgetting or ignoring part of the Ford Ranger history. And I think it's important that we maintain that history. So the 2019 Ford Ranger is actually the 6th generation Ford Ranger, not the 5th, which makes the 2024 Ranger the 7th generation of Ford Rangers. The only way that you could argue that a 2019 Ford Ranger was a 5th generation Ford Ranger is if you left a Ford Ranger out. And as you can see from the photos, every one of them is different. But we live in a society where all of a sudden people take interest in something and want to change the history of it. And all I'm trying to do is preserve the true history of the Ford Ranger. I hope this video helps clear up any confusion on the Ford Ranger generations. I appreciate those of you with the older generations keeping them alive, and I appreciate those of you with the new generations building on their legacy. Thanks for watching.